Hello, product people. Welcome to the Product for Product podcast, hosted by Matt Green, data advocate and product manager, and Musha Mikanovsky, product leader and author. Our goal is to serve the product community by helping you find products that can help make your work in product management easier. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Product for Product podcast.
Welcome back. On today's episode, Michelle and I are excited to speak with Jackie Flake, a product leader and two-time founder. We'll be discussing how to become a product coach and possibly start your own business. So let's hop in. How are you, Jackie?
Hey guys, doing great. Good to see you.
Welcome to the show. Hello, Michelle.
Hey Matt, hey Jackie, welcome to the show. And you are from Atlanta as well, like Matt, right?
I do
Yes,
live in Atlanta. Yes.
And
So
this
we
is
are
actually
neighbors.
fellow Atlantan.
this is
Love it.
Yep.
actually how I met you as well on Product Coffee. I need to give credit to Product Coffee because that's how I met
Yes.
Matt. So
Yep.
Yep.
thank you, Product Coffee, again for making more connections.
We love
That's
product
right.
coffee. Great
We do.
organization.
So welcome, Jackie, to the show.
Thank you guys. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about yourself.
Sure. So I am a two-time founder and I have a consulting and coaching business that I've had for about 7 years now. And through that business, I support product teams and product leaders in helping them build world-class products. And then also, I have an online business in which it's called The Brave Start. And we help product professionals launch and grow their independent coaching and consulting businesses through a program that we've developed.
The Brave Start. Oh, that's a great name.
Mhm.
How did you come up with the name?
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that a
Oh
lot.
my gosh. We did a whole branding session with actually one of our members in our program, Devin Smith. He's an amazing branding strategist and kind of helped us workshop it and figure out kind of, our core values and how we really are passionate about helping people. And we landed on the Brave Start because in order to go out on your own and launch your own consulting or coaching business, it takes guts.
I
So you
hear
need guts to
you.
get started.
I hear you. I can really resonate with that because I also kind of got into product coaching in the last year. And if we will have any of this on video, people will see my background over there. I just said product coach now.
Hmm. Yep.
Yep.
So this really, when I met you, like I mentioned before in Product Coffee, what you were mentioning that, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. I need to learn more from Jackie about, how do you do this? And because I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm probably, making it a bit, dramatic, but I probably do because I get to good feedbacks. But still, like it resonates with me that bravery, that you need to be brave, that we're not raised as coaches, we're raised as
hmm
product people, and then
Hmm.
it's a bit different discipline. So first of all, before you start, I just wanted to mention that I thought this would be a great topic for our podcast because you don't only teach people, but you have a whole program, and that program can be like this product for product people who wants to dive into product coaching. And many of us throughout our career projections, some of us do go in that direction. So that's why I thought it would be a great topic for us to talk about.
That's right. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I mean, we have an entire toolkit to support people who want to take that next step in their career and take all of their really valuable product expertise and turn it into an actionable business where they can, choose their clients that they want to work with and provide valuable expertise to those clients and build an income around that. And it's a natural progression to someone's career in product management.
Yeah.
So before we dive into the details of that, tell us, how did you get into product first before you even get into product
Yeah.
coaching?
Yeah, yeah. Like the rest of you, I fell into it, right? Isn't that
Hey.
the typical story? So I had gone to grad school and I had done some work in Atlanta, but then I left and went to Boston and I moved back here for my first job in technology. And it was a product job and I didn't know what I was doing. And I fumbled my way through it. And then I started to bounce around the Atlanta startup scene, building really fun, cool, interesting products, and started to do really well, even though I felt like I was fumbling my way through my product career. And products I worked on started to get acquired, and I started to win awards, and things were going great until all of a sudden they weren't. I got laid off, and then I got laid off again. And after back-to-back layoffs, I decided it was time to make a change and take charge of my career.
I see. So that's where you transitioned from product manager or product leader into product coaching or coaching product managers?
Exactly. Yep. At that point, I had an opportunity to support a friend's business and help build their go-to-market strategy and develop all of that. And so that was kind of my first client. And from there, I just decided like, this is so fun. I get to work on things that I really enjoy. And from there, that's how my business grew.
Did you have an inkling before the first layoff or before the second layoff that this is something you'd be interested in? Or is it kind of something that after that second layoff, you were like, this is something I need to do or something I want to do? Take control.
Right. Yeah. I'm not the entrepreneur type, or I didn't think I was. I didn't grow up thinking I want to start a business and be an entrepreneur. I wanted to climb the corporate ladder just like that had been
Yeah.
modeled to me throughout my childhood and everything. And it never really occurred to me that I could do something like this. But once I had the sales opportunity after my second layoff where a friend had brought me a problem, and I thought, I can solve this. I don't
Hmm.
need anybody else to help me do this. I don't need a company backing me to do this. That's where I started to evolve into the idea that, like, okay, there could be something here.
So you're brave enough
Interesting.
to take that on, saying, yes, I can do it without all the background support.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I don't think I looked at it as being brave at the time. I just didn't have any other options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting
Survival.
because I moved to product management from software development after two layoffs. I also like the
Yep.
first layoff, I was like, yeah, I still need to be a software developer because that's who I am. After the second one, I was like, yeah, maybe I should make a change. And then I moved to coaching after two layoffs in product management. So here we go.
Wow. Yep. Everyone has a really unique path, but
But
we all
layoffs do
land.
tend to kick you in the butt sometime.
It almost has to, it puts a fire in your belly. So like, I gotta make this happen. And I think that's one of the, like the bravest part of it. Like you're taking a big chance on yourself and your ability to execute on certain things because, a lot of people have families and things to support. They have a framework they've built their lives around, and not having, being laid off, not having a job is very scary. And then putting it all on yourself to make the next thing work. And not only to do that, but to keep it working. So to keep clients coming in, building your portfolio and stuff like that. So it's extremely, I admire what you've done with your work, and it's very inspirational.
Well, thank you. And you're exactly right. All of those things that you mentioned are real. That's reality. Those are the fears of doing something like this. And when I was going out on my own, I didn't have support. I didn't have a coach to coach me how to do it, how to go about it, how to grow a product coaching and consulting business. And I had to figure all of that out the hard way, much like my product career. I had to
Yeah.
learn the hard way.
Yeah.
So now I'm determined to help other
That's
people
right.
not make my same mistakes.
That's
Yep.
amazing. That's amazing. Let's also, before we dive into the details of the program, um, talk a little about the differences between a product coach versus product consultant, versus maybe a product mentor.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I'm sure you are getting these questions quite often about what the
I
differences
do.
are and where people fit into that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I do. I definitely do. So the way I like to talk about the differences is a coach is exactly that. It's someone that's going in and supporting, coaching a product leader on what does doing product well look like? How do you build the right product operating model for your organization and your teams and supporting them in that and setting them up for success. And that's a lot of assigning homework and checking in and checking on, things they're working on, reviewing tools they might be using to make sure they're optimizing those. And then product consulting is actually doing the work. So we like to joke that when you're coaching, you're really trying not to do any of the work, but when you're consulting, you actually are responsible for time-based projects that you need to deliver on. And usually those are called deliverables. But consulting, you're actually doing the things. So you might be, helping to build a product vision and helping them execute on a product strategy. You might be, delivering on certain trainings and workshops, those kind of things. That's how I like to delineate between the two.
Right, right. And I also mentioned mentoring, but mentoring is a bit out of that because usually mentoring is a relationship more than anything, right?
Yeah, I would consider that advising as well, like a lot of advisory work that's,
Mhm.
at the executive and C-level a lot of times. And as a product coach and consultant, you can absolutely play at that level.
I see. I see. Okay, cool. So let's dive a bit into that program because you do mention that you learned a lot, on your own by doing it and by trying and failing, I assume.
Yep,
We
yep, you
know
got
it's not a
it.
bad word. We know it's not a bad word to fail.
Right, right.
So what does the program consist of? Which areas specifically do you teach someone that is a product manager these days or product leader in a company and then want to move into product coaching?
Sure. Yeah. So our program is called the Product Coach Academy. And through that, it's a 12-week cohort-based program. And so with that, you get a course. And in the course, we dive into all of the things that it takes to grow and start your business and create a real thriving business around your product coaching and consulting expertise. And that's everything from, how to set up your business to how to market yourself, because now you are the product and you're building a personal brand around yourself, which feels really weird when all these years you've been working on someone else's brand, but all of a sudden you are the brand. We teach you how to build a sustainable sales pipeline and really build up that client base and how to go about doing so that you can feel comfortable in your income potential. And we teach you how to deliver like high value consulting work, because I like to say this is not freelancing. Freelancing are people you can find on Fiverr and potentially, platforms like Upwork, but this is delivering high value consulting and coaching in which you can yield premium rates for. So
Mhm.
we teach you how to really execute and deliver high value engagements that your clients want more of. And then we teach you also when you're ready to grow your business, we teach you scaling strategies as well. So the course is really awesome. It's an on-demand course. You take it in your own time. And we know that it takes more than just online training in order to learn and grow. So we also do 3 group coaching sessions throughout the cohort. And those are really powerful because you're getting personalized feedback. We're workshopping real life challenges, and you're working alongside fellow aspiring coaches and consultants at various stages in their business journeys. And then we also believe in community. And so this is very exciting. So speaking of Product Coffee, we have partnered with Product Coffee to join their global community. So we have an exclusive private channel within Product Coffee, and then all of our members get access to the larger Product Coffee offerings, which is really exciting as well because of all the great content that they offer. And then our program members can grow and network and knowledge share and collaborate and also explore, you know, consulting and coaching opportunities.
Right, right. hmm Oh, that sounds like a very, comprehensive set of skills that, like you said, many of us don't always practice them as we do product management. I always,
Yes.
I always mention how I don't like to do sales, and I still sometimes do have to
Right.
do sales and
Yep.
stuff like that. So I can definitely see the value in that. What are the unique things that you do in there that are specific for product managers? Because a lot of these things could be for any type of coaching, right? If you want to open
That's
your
right.
coaching business. Here we're talking
Yeah.
specifically about product management.
hmm Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of the principles that we're teaching can support anyone trying to launch and scale their coaching and consulting business. But for product, we understand that there are very specific nuances to coaching and supporting product teams. And because product hasn't really been done well for a lot of people, we talk about ways to support product teams and we discuss things and we offer toolkits. For example, how to conduct a product maturity assessment when you're looking at an organization and you're trying to understand where their gaps are, where are the gaps in the skill sets, where are the gaps in the tools that they're using, how is the team topology structured, and so we share a framework for conducting things like that you wouldn't necessarily do on maybe a different team. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it can be very product specific at times because we've been doing this for so long and we've been working with product leaders for so long and organizations. And when you're selling work and you're having to convince a CFO that the product organization could benefit from this, or you're working with a startup founder who needs a fractional CPO, for example. So
Mhm.
we give you talking points and in your discovery calls, when you are doing those sales calls, what are the types of questions you need to be asking? What are the types of leading indicators you need to be looking for that signals to you that this potential client could be a buyer of your services?
When you're starting off your business, what client base would you typically look for? Someone who already has a product team in place that just needs some guidance on something, or would you be looking for something that is very new to product? They don't have a team set up. Would you look to come in and implement a framework, or would just you look to come in and elevate what they're already doing?
So my answer is it all depends.
Okay. Yes.
Good
But
answer.
really what it's about is when you do encounter a client, it's about uncovering their needs. And just like you do in product management, understanding your
Hmm.
customers' problems, well, now the company is your client and you're trying to understand their problems. Do they
Okay.
have issues with their go-to-market strategy? Is it on the product marketing side? Are there issues with delivery? Are there issues with skill sets not being up to par? Are there
Hmm.
issues with, the way they've structured their product portfolio? So those are all things you have to learn to uncover in your initial discovery calls. And that's challenging, right? Because it's not like you have a job description. You have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
kind of figure out what they need and then put together through all of your experience the best solution to, help fix their problems.
And is your program offer that toolkit based upon the problem that they're looking to solve? You can apply some sort of framework to those problems.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
We talked through
Okay.
all of those types of strategies and how
Cool.
to, listen for those buying signals and those stress signals from your
Yeah.
client.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I can see it now, absolutely, where a program like that could be very valuable, like you said, and I'm also trying to apply it to myself because I'm in that process.
Hmm.
How I'm trying to grab. I'm learning from just trial and error, like you did when you started this, and I'm trying to get my personal branding out there, and I'm trying to get my
That's
message
right.
out there, and I'm trying to well, I don't even know what my pipeline is, which is a very bad thing for someone that luckily I do have, a great client that I'm working with like now as part-time. So it's an ongoing thing. But I do think that I need a bit more than that. So one of the things that I'm curious about is and diving maybe a little even deeper into the product management aspects of that is how much do we expect the people that go through your program already know everything that they need to know about product management, and
Mhm.
they don't really need to, or you don't need to worry that they don't know what they're talking about when they talk about product management.
Right. I think I
Like,
get what you're asking.
not
Yeah.
every Joe Schmo will say, yes, I'm going to become a product coach right now just
Right.
because.
Right. Yeah. Well, so I don't teach people how to do product because I'm assuming at this stage, if you're ready to go out on your own
Right.
and launch your coaching and consulting business, you have the experience to do so. And on the flip side, I'll encounter people who maybe have thought about what it could be like to go out on their own, but just kind of feel held back because they don't think they're quite ready to do it because they don't have quote unquote enough experience. And I always try to encourage them, as long as you're not like a brand new PM, right? You need to have that credibility built up and experience under your belt. But you do have valuable experience to offer. And you might land in a niche area based on your experience. And you might not be able to coach and consult in every area of product, but you definitely have expertise in specific areas. Maybe you're a design thinking expert. Maybe you're a product-led growth expert. Maybe you're a product operator. So what we teach you is how to niche down into these lanes in
Mm,
which you can really focus and build your business around. And it doesn't mean you can't coach or consult in other areas, but it allows you to have a focus for your messaging and your own go-to-market strategies so that people know how to talk about you in a room when you're not there. And it's
right.
very easy for them to understand what you do and how you can help. And once you get into a client, you can absolutely offer additional expertise and help in other areas. Let's say you've led design teams before, but you're coming in to support the product management group, then you can also start supporting the design function as well. But it's important for clients to really understand how you can help because they want to put you in a box. And so you need to help them understand what you do, how you can help, and then not confuse them with all the things you could be doing, right?
Yeah. That's a good message as well because when I started this, I was thinking, okay, I can do anything in product management. Just tell me what you need. But it's
Right,
very hard to
right.
sell that because people don't know
Yes,
always what they need.
that's
And
right.
like you said, even in product management, there is a lot of disciplines. Like someone can be very, very good in product operations versus someone very, very good in strategy.
That's right.
Versus so there could be many different areas that you can actually consult on.
That's
I
right.
see
Yep.
that.
Yeah, I remember when you spoke at Product Camp, Jackie. You mentioned like leveraging your network. So I guess once you're on your own and you're stable, and you have a pipeline coming in, if a client says you're working with a client, they have a specific request. I think you mentioned leveraging your network to, hey, I know someone that can help in this area, and bringing in other people to work on a project, something like that. Uh,
Exactly.
okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I do that because I don't keep a bench of consultants.
Hmm.
And after I had my daughter, which is my second kid, I came back after maternity leave and I kind of had a good problem on my hands. I was selling more projects than I could personally take on myself. And so I needed to find people in my network that could help support these engagements so that I could still support my clients and at
Hmm.
the same time not lose the business because that's equally important. And so what I decided to start doing in order to scale my business was to go to my network and look for two things. First being who do I know in my network that can do this work and do it well? And secondly, who do I know in my network that can do this work well and that I trust? And then
Yeah.
that really narrowed down the pool for me to choose from.
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
and so I started to build my virtual consulting and coaching bench. But honestly, I was really feeling a few years back that there really aren't enough product coaches and consultants in our world. And I had been seeing that for myself in my own business. And I was invited to a coaching session with Marty Kagan about a year ago. And he said the same thing. There's not enough product coaches that are strong enough to do the work that's needed. And I was really happy to hear that because it really validated everything I'd been seeing in my own business. And so that's another reason I selfishly launched this business is so that I could build up my network of product coaches and consultants and
Mhm.
meet people that I can then connect to consulting and coaching opportunities when I sell them through my consulting work.
That's great. That's a great strategy. Here we go, talking about strategy there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really great. I did read when Marty Kagan did these sessions. I think he did one in the US and one in Europe, if I remember
Yes.
correctly,
Yep. And I went to the one in New York.
and in New York. So
Hmm.
and he did mention that he invited people to that. So it's amazing that
Yes.
he heard about you and invited you to do that.
I know.
Um,
I was kind of fangirling the whole time.
I know, I know. What did you learn from him specifically about being a product coach that you were like, oh, wow, yes, this makes so much more sense, or yeah, I have to apply this right away, or something like that?
I'll say that for me, because I've been doing this for 7 years now, what a lot of things Marty was talking about really just validated all the things I had been doing over the
Mm,
years or things I had learned myself the hard way.
mm,
And so his session was about coaching product coaches and everything. Um, so for me, that was the most validating that, like, okay, I am on the right track. This is how Marty does it and coaches it. And so I have figured it out,
mm,
along the way. But there were a lot of other coaches there that were a little newer in their business journeys that were probably, picking up a lot more new things as well.
mhm.
Um, so, but Marty just really, he really wants to focus on quality and just, he likes to stay away from like focusing on the details of delivery, even though that's important. He really wants to stay up here in the product funnel and make sure that you're focusing on solving the right problems for the right
Right.
customers, which makes complete sense.
Right. One of the things that I'm always worried when talking about, Marty Kagan, because I'm such a big fan, like all of us,
Hmm.
is that he also wrote quite recently something about you can learn from product managers that have done it the right way or that worked for companies that have done it the right way. And in my mind, there is so few companies that are doing it in the right way. And even those companies, when you hear stories from inside those companies, every team might be a
Hmm.
bit different from other teams. So not every teams are equal to like doing it the right way. And of course, it's not black
Right.
and white. There is many colors in between and whatever. But I never worked for Google and I never worked for, Netflix and I never worked for any of those companies that everyone mentioned. So did I work for a company that did it the right way? And can I be that coach to tell other people how to do it the right way?
Right,
I
right.
sometimes feel this like heavy weight on
You,
my shoulders that
Yeah.
are you
maybe
just
I'm not the right person for
are you
doing
just
it.
spreading the practices around or something like that? Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I'm really worried because I really want this to be done right because I
right.
believe in the things that he's saying. And that one thing that he said, I was like so worried about it.
Yeah, I would say that's all self-doubt creeping in.
Hmm.
Like I never worked for those huge companies either. I worked for Facebook partners and Google partners, and I worked on some really sexy products, but but I haven't worked for those big companies. And at the same time, I'll meet CPOs, I'll meet VPs of product, and they come to me saying, I don't know if I have enough experience to go out and do this well.
Mm.
And I'll be honest, I never had a VP title in my entire corporate product career.
Yeah,
And
me
yet,
too.
right, there you go. And so, but I went out on my own and was able to build this seven-figure multi-million-dollar business through my experience and through my network. And so it doesn't matter, the titles of the companies you've worked at. It's about the problems you've been able to solve in your career and taking those experiences and teaching others how to do it well.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and I always think like, who knows if Google's doing it right? They hundreds of PMs, droves of developers.
Thousands. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows if that's working for them either. So I always try to think about it like that. Since we are product for product, we like to talk about products. So, do you have any cases where someone had said, "Hey, we're looking to implement some tools into our product management suite," and you were able to recommend like a tech stack or something to help alleviate some problem that they were having?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll do, tool set assessments
Hmm.
and we'll kind of look at what are the tools they're using now, how are they leveraging them to, get reporting and data and metrics out of them? Are they optimizing them?
Hmm.
And we can either coach them in those tools if we have the expertise in them, or we can help them recommend a tool set that they can move to and then help them transition over so that they can be the most effective with the tools that they're using. Because as we know, there are tons of product tools and you have a whole podcast built around
Yes,
it.
yeah, that's it. That's it. We're trying to
Yeah,
the lower the noise out there,
that's
and
right.
There is
we
Yes.
we've
too many
talked to a lot of
colors.
people, and they either are lucky enough to implement the tool themselves, or
Hmm.
typically I think a lot of people we've spoken to, they wind up in a business that already has something, and they're
Yep.
either stuck with it, they love it, or they stuck with it and they don't like it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear the different stories we've come across.
And I think we feel this pressure to have to use a tool a lot of times. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's like, let's just get rid of it. Let's just write stuff down on paper or a whiteboard, even if we're not in the same location. Like, let's just
Yeah,
keep it simple, you know?
that's right.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
absolutely.
I think Moshe and I have talked about like making the tool work for you. Like the tool doesn't define the work really. Like the tool's there to help you, but sometimes
Right.
people leverage the tool. Hey, we have this tool, we have to make it work. Like
Yeah.
we're paying
Yeah.
this amount of money for it, right?
Mm.
Especially
Yep.
especially with AI tools.
Yeah. Oh, hey, oh, hey,
Yes.
oh, don't, oh,
Especially with AI
don't,
tools.
Don't go
So,
yeah,
there.
so
don't
if
go
you
there on
need,
AI. I love
yeah,
AI.
don't go there, don't go there. So if you need to recommend a tool, like one tool that you do feel that product managers cannot live without, what or you cannot live without, what would it be?
In my business today, I live in Miro, like a lot of us. I use a tool called Canva a lot, which is a
Mhm.
design tool, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's it right
So
there.
yeah.
yeah, and we're not recommending any tool, so this is just your opinions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only said that because on the video I was actually putting some thumbs up, but only because I like Miro, but that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, well, I like Canva. I like Canva. So there you go. So
Yeah. Canva's awesome.
Canva's cool.
No, I think one of the cool things about tools, even if they're not exactly directly solving a specific problem for product managers, is we learn a lot from them. So whenever I coach or mentor, other product managers, I always tell them, look at the tools that you're using and get inspiration. Look at what is
Mm,
it that you like in them and what is it that you don't like in them, and see maybe there is an idea there that no one thought about that can be used in a very different area in the product that you're working on. So that,
that's right. That's such good advice. Yeah.
absolutely.
I did have another question about time. So when you are working in a company, you have you're working there, things are moving along, you have your personal life, professional life, but is there any sort of pressure like when you're on your own with your own company, like, hey, I'm spending time doing some leisurely activity. I should be out there like hustling and making this pipeline stronger. Is there any kind of like like is there any of this pressure that comes along with this
Yeah.
role?
I mean, like in any job, you could always be doing something, right,
Yeah,
to move it
yeah,
forward. And when you have your own business, there are those pressures and there's that hustle mentality. But at the same time, the way I coach people is that, we didn't choose to go out on our own because we wanted to grind 24/7 like we did in our corporate lives.
yeah.
The entire idea around this is to have freedom in our schedules and to
Hmm.
free up our schedules so that we can have flexibility in our days and in our weeks and go on vacation and not feel guilty.
Yep,
And so that's the ultimate goal. And I've finally been able to get there in my own business. And so
yep.
I am wanting people to get there much earlier than I did in my journey.
I,
That's
I was
inspirational.
I was a bit laughing there because the culture in Canada is a bit different than the culture in the US.
Oh yes,
Because the
we grind.
corporate grind doesn't really exist here. There is
Oh,
balance between
Uh,
life and business.
that's
yep.
awesome. We need to go there, Matt. Oh my
I
gosh.
know, I know. We're grinding.
Well,
We're
maybe
grinding here in
maybe
the
I'm
U.S.
generalizing here, but many companies that I worked for in Canada, that was the way it was.
Mm,
So we basically we were told, don't work too much. You have to have balance.
Yeah,
So going to
love
build
that.
your own company, that's where it becomes a grind. That's where it
hmm,
becomes
Hmm.
the other way around that you have to work around the
Right.
clock, right?
Right. Right. You got to get that work ethic up. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
exactly.
Starting your own business, something else to consider is all the actual business work you have to do, the filing of the company, all this taxes and stuff like that. That's something else you have to factor in beyond the product, beyond the pipeline of work. It's all this other stuff that you have to take into consideration. So it's an exciting
Yeah.
thing.
That's a component of it as well.
Yeah.
But it's good to be, well-rounded and understand like the finance side of things and the
Yeah,
marketing side of things and all of those things that you're gonna have to do. But then you get to a point where you can start hiring fractional people to help you in your
that's
business.
right.
And I have done that now. I have a strategy consultant that I work with. I have
Yep.
a bookkeeper and project manager that support me. So I can start to delegate those things and it can look like a real business.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. No, that's cool. I think overall this really gave me a picture of what is the program is all about. And how do you see, the growth there? Do you actually see that as time goes by, there is more and more people that are looking to get into product coaching and they're successfully building their own businesses?
Yeah, I'm meeting a ton of people that have just recently launched their coaching and consulting businesses, and I'm supporting them. We launched over the summer, and we've got our founding members from our program that were just kind of graduating the program now. But some of the 2024 product predictions in our industry is that it's the year of the product coach. So now is the time. If you're thinking about going out on your own, or ready to go out on your own, now's the time to do it. And, I like to tell people that, if you want to just test it out and you want to, spin it up as a side hustle while you still focus on your full-time job, just to kind of see what you think about it, that makes complete sense. And, if you end up taking the leap and it doesn't really meet your expectations for what you thought it was going to be at the time, then you simply go get a corporate job again. And I'm not minimizing the effort it takes to get a job in this economy, but I just don't want people to put pressure on themselves that it's all
Yeah.
or nothing and that it's so black and white. Like, you can, just like in our product jobs, you can iterate and you can experiment and learn and then build the business that you want to have.
And that's actually one of the things that I'm always looking for in once we have those skills as product managers to build products, if we treat almost everything as a product, we can use those skills to create our strategies, to create our iterations, to really improve all the time, etc.
Exactly. I have iterated on almost everything in my business to get it to where it is today. I've iterated on my proposal strategy, my sales strategy, how I perform discovery with my clients.
Mm.
Even pricing. I've iterated with pricing over the years to get
Mm-hmm.
it to a place that I feel good about. So it's all an experiment. And because we're product people, we're used to experimenting and taking those small risks. And that's what it can be like. You don't have to be like some super huge risk taker to do
Mm.
this. It's
Mhm.
just
Mm-hmm.
about like small changes and small iterations and measuring your progress.
And you have to love doing it.
That's
That's the
right.
bottom
That's right.
That's right.
Got to enjoy the hustle.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Perfect.
Yes.
I don't think I have any more questions. What about you, Matt? Do you have any questions about data analytics or anything? Or
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or AI. Yeah. AI. I can talk AI. You want to get into AI? I'll talk AI all day.
Yeah.
No, I
We
guess
do
just one.
incorporate AI.
Oh, hey, there we go. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll do a follow-up episode on that one. That'd be cool. No, I guess just one last question. Like, if you were to meet someone looking to go out as a coach or a consultant, what's like one piece of advice of overall that you would give them?
My number one piece of advice would be to get started,
Okay.
because there's all of these excuses you can come up with in your head of all these constraints of why you can't start yet. I don't have my website built. I haven't filed for an LLC. I don't have any clients. It doesn't matter. Get started. Everything else you can work on along the way, but just do it.
Excellent.
Awesome.
On that
That's
note, it's
that's
been a
great.
pleasure.
It has been a pleasure.
Good.
Where
Thank you,
can
guys.
people reach out to you?
So you can find us at thebravestart.com. If people want to learn more about the Brave Start or the Product Coach Academy, we offer free webinars twice a month where we will cover 5 steps to launching your coaching and consulting business. And then we also teach you how to define your niche in your coaching and consulting business so that you can learn how to sell your expertise.
Perfect. And this is the niche specifically for product management, right?
That's right. Yep.
I
Yep.
wanted to make sure that it's clear.
Yep. We teach you how to niche down within product and within
Perfect.
the realm of product and all the things you could be good at. Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much, Jackie. Thank you, Mache. Thank you to all the listeners, and we'll talk to everybody next time. Take
Take care,
care.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you to all the listeners. We really appreciate the feedback and support. Please leave us a review to help others find the show on Apple or Spotify or anywhere else you're listening to the show.